Decanting and aging wine. What is decanting? Well, decanting is simply transferring the liquid from your wine bottle into a glass carafe or a pitcher or jug. Often we're decanting young wines to help introduce oxygen, and that oxygen into the wine will help it open up and show more of its character and personality. It's kind of like if you've had a very stressful day and you're lucky enough to be able to go to a poolside cabana, put your computer down, turn off your phone, stretch out on that pool chair and just go, ah. That's what we're doing by introducing oxygen to your wine. So we're taking a young wine and pouring it into a larger vessel, which will allow quite a bit of oxygen to come into the wine. So as an example, that's what you would do. And then in this large vessel, you swirl it around, and that wine is just sitting back on its poolside chair going, ah. Another reason we're decanting wine is if that wine has been in your cellar for some time. So perhaps the wine has been in your cellar for 5 years and somebody at Chanticleer said, it's time to open it up. And you did. Perhaps you read Discovery to Table and read my notes on when to open that wine, and you decided, okay, tonight's the night. So the wine is in your cellar and it's on its side. So you can take the wine out of the cellar by using a decanting basket, and you place the wine in that decanting basket, and then you bring it out, and then you simply pour the wine over a light source like a candle or flashlight into the carafe, and you stop when you see the sediment. That's a little bit more complicated, but it's still very easy to do. Otherwise, you're going to end up, or the last person that gets the last glass is going to end up with a little bit of sludge that's kind of like Turkish coffee. So we want to try to avoid that. When we review wines at Planet Grape Wine Review, which is a new wine review platform that I launched last year, we do what's called the Grape Goddess 3-day rule. So we open a wine, we go through our full evaluation, and then we put the cork back in it and we put it away, just on the kitchen counter or in the cupboard. The next day we open that wine again and taste it again. And we do the same thing on the 3rd day. And what we notice is that the wines, as they're allowed to take on oxygen, to breathe, to lounge back in their poolside cabana, show so much more character. And they evolve and they really open up, and you can really get at that wine and understand it more closely than you could with a quick 5-minute evaluation, which is how the mainstream wine media reviews wines. So I feel it's really important to understand the Grape Goddess 3-day rule and understand that if you don't finish your bottle, that you can put the cork back in. Don't do any kind of treatment, just set it back on the kitchen counter, and it will become even better the next day, for the most part. Certain grapes like Syrah and Pinot Noir have so much perfume that they may lose a little bit of that perfume, and they're much more delicate. So you can put those in the fridge if you have leftovers and try them again the next day. I think one of the things that surprises most people when I talk about the Grape Goddess 3-day rule is the screw cap finished wine. And these are the bottles that have a twist-off screw cap on the top. These wines, when you first open them up, are virtually inert because they have a lot of gas and they're very oxygen deprived. And so when you pour the wine into a glass, there's not much there. But as the glass breathes, as the wine takes on oxygen, the wines start to really show their character. I find that most screw cap finished wines under $10 are better on the 2nd day, and sometimes even best on the 3rd day, with no treatment, no preservation system, nothing, just putting the cap back on and putting the wine back on the counter. It's also nice when you have a young New World wine to have that aeration process over a couple of days, because again, the wine keeps developing layers and layers of character. And if a wine is tannic from oak tannins, chewy, aggressive, those tannins soften with aeration. So it's really a benefit to your wine to give it a chance to breathe.